Wednesday was one of those days when just nothing goes right. And I was about to find that out as soon as I got done sharing one of my Pop-Tarts with June Pup. The first thing on my agenda for today is to run down to Logan and pick up a couple fresh drums of methanol. That way we've got plenty of fuel for the next 2 weeks. And since it's pretty hot today and my 2 associates wouldn't take no for an answer when it comes to staying home, I decided I better take the dually rather than the 64 C10 because the dually has air conditioning. And the air conditioning is rather important when my associates go with me. Somehow when the windows are down, the word stay becomes optional. So the windows have to stay up on the truck when I get out to go pay for my methanol. Now June I don't have to worry about running off. She stays right by my side. But Chivy is a wanderer. She likes to go hunt and sniff and look for squirrels and chipmunks and who knows what she's going to get into. So it's best just to leave them both in a truck. Because even though June stays right by my side, she tends to nip at people if they get too close to me. So anyway, we pull in down to Basil and they load me up 2 fresh drums of methanol and we turn and burn back towards the shop. Now, while I'm on my way back from Logan, Uncle Bucko is up at the shop checking out all the equipment. He checked the oil in the generator, fired it up, make sure everything works okay, and I asked him to check the tire pressures in the trailer tires and grease the hubs, and I'll regret that here shortly. We got on the road, stopped and got fuel down at Flying J, and then we hit 70 up to 77. It's about a 2.5 hour tow up to Quaker City from our house. The weather was beautiful until we got there, and no sooner did we pay to get in the gate, a pop-up thunderstorm came in and canceled the entire test and tune. We're done. So we stopped and got dinner up there at Canton and then head back home without any trailer brakes. Now I had just put new brakes on this trailer almost a year ago, but they only worked good for about a month or so. But last night, they quit working completely. So on our way home, I told Jeremy, hey, I need you to be here first thing in the morning to look at these trailer brakes. So he was here bright and early to figure out what's going on with the brakes. As it turns out, the grease seals fell out of the hubs. So yesterday when he greased the bearings, guess what? All my brake linings are covered in axle grease. So while Jeremy's working on that, I decided to get the 64 out and load up these 2 tires I want to replace and run them down to Bowman's. And the 2 existing tires that I've got that are still good, I plan on using for spares. And with my luck, I could probably use as many spares as I can get my hands on. So anyway, me and my 2 turd barrels jump in the 64 and we head down to Hebron to Bowman Goodyear. I called Chris down there last week and ordered in 2 more tires so that I would have 6 matching tires on the trailer for the first time in, well, I don't know how long. It's been a while.
Drop those tires off a little bit.
I brought you 2 tires.
All right.
Take the tires off the 2 aluminum wheels and put them on my 2 spares.
Okay.
So I've got a couple of good spares. And then put my 2 new tires on my aluminum wheels.
Okay. A couple hours, I'll have you out of here.
So after I drop off my tires, I head back to see Jeremy and see what caused this problem to begin with. Well,
Lessons to be learned here on the seal installation.
well, I'm not going to say who put them in there, but his name rhymes with many flowers.
Yeah, many flowers.
So add 1 complete new brake job to the list of things I need to get done before we can leave for Missouri tonight. And the next obstacle, of course, is whether or not I can get the parts. So guess who we call for that?
It's about time. Which one are you, thing 1 or thing 2?
Thing 2.
Thing
2, the one that does its job.
Oh, is that right?
Fixing Kenny Powers mess up.
A bunch of minions are all killing me.
What was that?
I said, all you minions are killing me. Oh, God. Here comes Chief Numbnuts now.
Yeah. I heard you had someone made a mess up. Here, fix that mess up.
His name rhymes with many flowers.
That it does, I heard.
Thing 2, you are saving the day.
Yeah.
Don't tell him that.
Oh, how did it taste to say Chunky was right in that video?
What are you talking about?
So let's back up a couple of days. There was a little bit of deliberation over whether or not a belt would fit on the Falcon. Uncle Rob said that the belt would not work, and Mark, down at A1, said it will indeed work. So Jeremy got between the 2 of them and had to figure it out for himself.
Rob's eating crow and Chumpy won.
So you're Team Chumpy today.
Team Chumpy.
You said you were Team Chumpy and he was right. How'd that taste?
That's like 1 out of like 497. It's not a very good record.
I seen that video and I told Mark, I was like, I'm about to see how that tasted coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, well, ask him how his ball sack feels.
Every time Jeremy gets upset with Mark over a part or whatever, Mark can do everything right and it's still not good enough. Whatever. But every time Jeremy thinks he has an issue with Mark, he claims he's going to get down there and kick him in the nuts. And such was the case over this socket set that Jeremy bought the other day.
I bought Chumpy's $70 Wonder socket box, except for when you pick it up, it dumps shit all over. Chumpy's getting kicked in the nuts tomorrow.
I read a comment yesterday. Somebody said, this has got to be scripted. There's no way this is real life. Jeremy?
Yeah?
Can you even read a script?
No.
You know, a few times I've made mention that Jeremy is one of the messiest people you've ever met, right? And here's proof. Right there is the trash can. It's empty. Kenny empties it every day. But yet all the parts boxes of all the parts that Thing 2 just delivered, laying here on the floor. Every day it's like this. Isn't it, Jeremy? All I'm saying is don't make a mess while you're fixing things. You cause more work for yourself. Actually, you cause more work for me, and I have to pay Kenny to clean up after you.
Wait a minute, did you pay Kenny to put brakes on this thing?
By the way, what did Kenny do wrong?
Improper seal installation.
Okay, what should he have done differently?
Well, first you gotta have tools to install the seals properly. Second of all, I would have put red Loctite around the edge of the seals to lock them in positively.
I'm not so sure I agree with that. I don't think that's the problem. I've put a lot of grease seals in my life, and I've never had to Loctite them into the hub, ever. And I've never had any of them fall out. So who the hell knows what caused this problem? But for right now, I don't have time to research it. I've got a UPS driver backing in with a whole load of merch that we're going to be taking with us to Missouri. So I help our UPS guy get all this stuff unloaded, put in the shop, and I let Kenny and Harley know that the stuff's here. It's ready to be unboxed and folded. So since they're headed this way, and it's just about lunchtime, I figure me and June Pup ought to run down to Buckeye Lake and get a little lunch for everybody. So I had Vicky order Pizza Cottage, and we went and picked it up in the Malibu. Originally, we were hoping to leave by noon today, but that's definitely not going to happen now. We still don't even have this brake job done. But at least Kenny's here now, and he's helping Jeremy do the wiring on the trailer brakes, while Jeremy runs to pick up a couple tools, and Miss Harley's inside folding shirts for us. While we're all busy back at the shop, Miss Vicky took an opportunity to go use her truck.
My truck. Everybody says, Miss Vicky, you never drive your truck. Well, I do.
Every time I see it, Bill's driving it.
I do drive it.
But he said he built it for you. So.
Thankfully, Chris got my tires done in record time down there. So while Vicky was down there running errands and going to Kroger's, she just went ahead and picked the tires up and brought them back home for me. And she wanted to make sure I got video of her using her truck for everybody that says I built the truck for myself. By the time she got back, Jeremy was just about ready to start putting the trailer back together. But as it turns out, he owes Kenny an apology.
So, now we're all on the same page. Whose fault was it?
Chumpy's. Chumpy's part supplier sucks.
All right, you two. You blamed him.
He was the assembler.
He was the assembler?
Now, I was the installer.
He was the installer.
Apparently, I've never heard of this, but Chumpy somehow's got a manufacturer that pre-assembles the seals, bearings, and greases them for you. So when he sold them to you, they were pre-assembled hub assemblies that you just slid on and slide the nut on.
Is that true?
Yep.
So
Okay.
Kenny
Now,
did
Kenny-
not install the grease seals.
No.
You've been cleared of all wrongdoings, Kenny Powers. You, on the other hand,
Me what?
you blame everybody for everything.
Well, obviously there's a problem when you have brakes that are a year old and the grease seal spit out and they cover the brakes in grease.
So does this mean Chumpy's going to warranty this stuff?
I have no idea, but he's getting a swift kick in the nuts as soon as I'm done. I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get here to find the seals out. Thought it was Kenny's fault. Kenny tells me they're pre-assembled, and I don't believe him because I've never seen them pre-assembled. Because anything on 12-inch drums like this, and if you'll see here, Kenny took a video, I peen the outside edge to make sure the seal's locked in, and then I put a red Loctite around the outside of it to make sure that it's locked in, because when these things get hot, you have to peen the seals or it will spit them out. Chumpy's never heard of that, but I have, because I've had all kinds of jackasses with skid steers and track hose and pulling 50 million mile an hour down the freeway and wonder why their grease seals fly out and their brakes get caked in grease. It's because you don't pen the seals. These things that expand and seals just go and pop out, and then you got grease all over your brakes. Screwed. Chumpy's getting kicked.
So there you have it, folks. That's why we're running late to Missouri. So we're just about to leave, thankfully. I think.
Yes.
Maybe.
I think so.
Are we ready?
I think so.
Are you sure? Am I going to have to turn around and come back to get something?
God, I hope not. Listen, if we forgot something, we'll just buy another. Whatever it was, we'll just buy another one.
Whatever.
Whatever it is.
I forgot a monster truck.
Just kidding.
No, we're not going to do that. All right, guys, so we're just about done. Everybody's packing up for the day here. We're going to lock everything down, turn the security system on.
And Bucko and Harley and Kenny are in and out all week.
Yeah, everybody's going to be in and out of here. Kenny's going to be working in here in the shop this weekend, hanging some cabinets back here for me, and he's been cleaning up in the shop. He's got the shop looking really good. Harley's got shipping to do in here, so between Kenny and Harley and Jeremy, they'll have a pretty good eye on the place while we're gone. And so we'll see what happens. Hopefully we make it there without any problems. Hard to tell. But I'll try and do some uploads over the weekend. I can't promise. I'm not sure how my service is going to be over there. We'll just have to play it by ear. But thank you all for liking, sharing, subscribing, watching, supporting. We really appreciate it. We'll see everybody in Missouri this weekend.